There's no need to exchange pleasantries. It's rather... You think I've got a sharp tongue? I just tell it like it is. Check this out! Supporting fire! Clouds high. The birds come! Fire it up!
Inazuma shines eternal! Huh!
Check this out!
Illusion shattered!
As one with wind and cloud! I got you covered!
Be still. Mind the deluge.
Shine down! Now you shall perish!
Don't get too close! Here's back! Fallen leaves, adorn my cascade! Check this out!
Illusion shattered, torn to oblivion! Ha!
There's no such thing as pure.
Make my escape. Ninjutsu!
Wind strategy. Behold. Squall Fury.
Let me try.
As one with wind and cloud. The wind rises.
Let's get this show on the road.
My lucky day!
Unthinkable! Huh? Everybody stand back! Huh? Wait! Witness the power of what? Take flight!
My blade!
The fairy?
Let's get down to business.
Light it up! Rain outlines your fate. Let me weave you a verse. Break a leg! My apologies.
To the fairy?
Yeah!
To the fairy?
Yeah!
This.
Another
Let
test.
me try my
Teamwork is trick! Embrace the ice!
down
And step!
like this.
Whirling snow! Yeah! Yeah!
Picked the wrong test subject.
My lucky
My
day.
apologies! I'm going in! No, my sword! Rain cutter! Strike is one!
Fall before me!
Take flight!
You win. To the fairy?
Let's get out there and make some friends.
Understood. Squall and Fury.
Let's get down to business.
Burst forth.
See no more! Ah!
That's far enough. Finally, upon the gale.
No.
Time to begin work?
All right, let's go.
Behold! Fairy! Quit following me.
Let me try my blade.
Back off! Power of the villain!
The wind rises. The fairies.
It's my lucky day.
Ready, I go! I see everything.
Very final. No. Squall and Fury. Quit following me. The wind rises.
It's my lucky day. Boom! There's more!
Squall and Fury. Too slow.
My blade!
What's one more opponent?
To ashes!
I'm seeing something. Withering. Grow! Bye!
To the very
How's this?
Hey! Stop fighting!
Say no more!
behold.
How's this?
Very too slow. Quit following me.
It's my lucky day!
The wind rises.
Let's get down to business! How's this?
This may hurt a little.
The very Squall and Fury.
It's my lucky day!
Taste my flame.
Power that ended Haishan!
Grow! Make yourselves a home!
Like this.
Relax. There's no need to exchange pleasantries. It's rather pathetic to force a conversation just to occupy silence. Relax.
see everything.
Too slow.
Let's get down to business. That's far enough. Let's get down to business.
Hey,
That tingle?
no life lasts forever.
Too slow.
Everyone hold hands.
The wind rises. Quit following me.
Well done, Traveler and Paimon. And thank you, Dunyarzad, for organizing the Sabzeruz Festival for me.
I'm sorry, who are...
Dunyarzad! You're okay! Oh, don't scare us like that!
Oh, Traveler Paimon. I have something amazing to tell you. I just had a dream. And I saw Nilou performing the dance of Sabzeruz.
You're actually Nahida, aren't you? Paimon felt like Catherine was acting weird when we met at the Sub-Zero's festival. And Dunyarzad, did you save her? It's a really long story. We shouldn't disturb her. Her consciousness is still weakened. Let's chat somewhere else. How about by the Traveler's favorite bench? Let's talk about Dunyarzad first. It's such a relief that she's all right. After we parted on the last day of the Sub-Zero's festival, I left the city and saw what the Traveler had described. Among the countless dreams, I found one that was growing fainter and fainter. This proved my suspicion. Once Dunyarzad could no longer bear the Akasha harvesting her dreams, her consciousness began to dissipate. But this also meant it escaped the Akasha's control. Such a small fragment of consciousness can't last for very long, though. It will return to its original dream, where both will gradually fade until they completely disappear. I used all the power I had to keep her dying dream alive as long as possible, but it still wouldn't have lasted. So it looks like we did manage to save Dunyarzad in the end. Not a moment too soon. Huh? Why are you two smiling so happily? I thought you'd be so moved that you'd start crying. Both are fine. Everyone reacts differently. All right. You two must have a lot of other questions for me, right? After all, you saved my faithful believer. As your reward, I will answer any and all questions. To be accurate, I'm using the Akasha as a medium to occupy Catherine's consciousness. How did you do that? Poor Cat. Theoretically, I can enter anyone's mind as long as they're wearing their... The Akasha is the legacy of Greater Lord Rukkhadevata. As Lesser Lord Kusanali and the first Akasha Terminal, my consciousness has always been linked to the Akasha. I've always respected my people's free will, so I've never actually occupied their consciousness. When necessary, I just borrow this bionic Snezhnayan puppet. Hold on. Did we just learn some deep, dark secret? So Catherine is... No wonder Paimon felt something was off about her. What about your own body? Why do you need to borrow other people's? Don't you live in the sanctuary? That story begins a long time ago. After Greater Lord Rukkhadevata disappeared, the sages found my newly born self and took me back to Sumeru. At that time, I was young and weak. The sages kept me in the sanctuary of Suristhana, ostensibly for the sake... However, I do understand that they had hoped to find Greater Lord Rukkhadevata instead of me, a symbol of her passing. So, the sages basically put their new Archon under house arrest? How dare they! In some ways, they aren't wrong. Greater Lord Rukkhadevata was omniscient and omnipotent. Even after her death, the Akasha is still empowering this nation. And I'm still really far away from being able to call myself the God of Wisdom. Moreover, the Academia is also more proficient at governing this country. My existence has little meaning. Yeah, you got a lot of believers. Just look at the Sub-Zero's festival. Everyone who showed up truly loves you. Thank you for the kind words. But I honestly don't need physical freedom as long as I can connect my consciousness to the Trying to find a way to save Irminsul is my life's mission and top priority. I will work on that, and try to live up to being a deity in the meantime. Every once in a while, I will also take up the duties of the God of Wisdom and enlighten a lost soul here and there. Doing all that should be enough. You mean how the Akasha stopped? Yeah, it's been such a long... It's not that no one noticed. It's more like no one cared. Misdirection? The sages convinced everyone to believe that being unable to dream is a sign of rationality and wisdom. Even if the truth is that their dreams are being reaped by the... With their propaganda in place, the sages can maximize their use of the... Besides, Greater Lord Rukkhadevata must have created the Akasha in the hopes that it could be used to its full potential. Anyway, the perspective advocated by now, even those who never use Akasha terminals find it too shameful and embarrassing to talk about their dreams. There's never been any big problems with the Academia's governance of Sumeru. I wonder what caused them to go down this path. Even though the city's residents haven't noticed anything strange, if the Traveler hadn't broken the... I tried to do some investigating in the Akasha, but I couldn't find anything suspicious. And I think they're deliberately trying to hide...
Oh, that reminds Paimon. In Gandharvaville, there was a sage who had invited Tighnari to join some...
Regardless, I need to first investigate the sage's motives, make things right, and punish them if needed. But I'll have to be discreet, or they'll see me coming.
At the Avidia Forest, there was this incense that made the Traveler fall...
You also heard someone's voice, right? It said Wara.
Yeah, so you do know! We've been wanting to ask you what that was about, and if the...
It seems like the Traveler established a connection to Irminsul. That was a message left by Greater Lord Rukkhadevata's residual consciousness in Irminsul. As you two probably know, Greater Lord Rukkhadevata disappeared after the disaster in Khaenri'ah. The timings of these events do line up.
A message from Greater Lord Rukkhadevata?
King Deshret? That god who died even longer ago? Some present-day desert dwellers still worship him.
Okay, so what does the message mean?
I still haven't managed to decipher it. Even the Akasha isn't currently capable of... Greater Lord Rukkhadevata's residual consciousness in Irminsul seems to be contaminated with something that has... Many devoted scholars go mad as soon as they connect their consciousness. I've warned the but I believe this is the key to saving Irminsul.
So the tree in the vision was Irminsul? Oh, Tighnari also said that Irminsul is sick! Is it, but... Even if you can't figure out what that vision was all about,
it's... The Traveler wasn't affected after coming in contact with that consciousness. I've never seen anyone like that. With you here, no. We must decipher its secrets. This puzzle has life and death at stake. It could determine Irminsul's fate, as well as... Got it. I hope my answers were set. To be honest, maintaining Dunyarzad's fading dream took a lot of mental energy. Oh, and you don't need to worry too much about the Sage's activities for now. The Akasha won't be able to conduct another project on the scale of the Sabzeruz Samsara in the immediate future.
Go and get some sleep.
What a relief.
Traveler? Paimon? Why am I here? Do either of you know?
Maybe you were sleepwalking. You know you can't wake up a sleepwalker. We happened to walk by, so we thought we'd wait for you to wake up.
I see. Huh. I should visit my maintenance personnel sometime. Oh, I'm fine. I better go. Thank you.
We spent quite some time in Sumeru City, but ever since we last said goodbye to Lesser Lord Kusanali, we haven't heard anything from her.
Ad Astra Avisask. We meet again, you two.
Hi, Catherine. Do you have any commissions?
Commissions, huh? Oh, how about this? Please attend the Academia's Academic Symposium this afternoon and recite a love poem.
Wait.
And if possible, please also use your camera to capture the react.
Huh? What kind of commission is that?
I see. It appears that in that case, please go to Port Armos and convince the Eremites there to spend some time volunteering at the...
Hey, that's not any better.
I'm I'm sure the mercenaries will have some interesting reactions as well.
Paimon's gotta ask. Just who exactly has been submitting these commissions to the Adventurers Guild?
Oh, the commissioner? Well, actually, I just wanted to see the two of you in action.
Was it so obvious? I was hoping you would actually take one of those commissions. That kind of chance to observe humans doesn't come by often.
Ah, so it's Nahida. Paimon just knew Catherine wouldn't crack those kinds of jokes. When did you get into her head?
From when she said, Ad Astra Abyssosque?
So it's been you this whole time? Are you done resting up, Nahida?
Yes. I've been sleeping ever since we parted ways, and I even had a really, really long dream. It was another dream about the Sabzeruz Festival, except it was a happy one. In my dream, I was sitting in the middle of a flower terrace, and everyone in Sumeru City was holding hands as they danced in circles around me. I also got to sit on a gigantic flower carriage. Ferris, the Knight of Flowers, raised me really, really high above the ground. And
you know, Nahida, maybe your dream is how the Sabzeruz Festival really should be. It's meant to be a joyous time where everyone gets together to celebrate your birthday.
Huh? Wasn't I describing a really happy dream? Why are you both looking at me like...
No! We aren't pitying you. That would only make everything worse. We just don't want you to feel too sad. By the way, have you had a chance to visit Dunyarzad? How's she doing? The Homianis haven't allowed any visitors after the festival, so we haven't been able to check on her.
Yes, I paid her a visit right after I woke up. Her condition is stabilized. However, since Elazar is a manifestation of the withering on the human body, we can only cure it by finding a way to take, but for the moment, our top focus should still be figuring out what the sages are up.
Right. Who knows what'll happen?
So our first priority should be investigating and putting a stop to the sages' act.
Oh, good point.
Let's continue our chat here.
Okay, so do you have any ideas on how we can investigate the sages?
Actually, I've already done a little bit of work on that. I've already tried that, but all the key members of the Academia, even the it seems that from the very beginning, they've been guarding against info leaks from the Akasha. Of course.
Have you already caught the sages?
I'm guessing not yet, but distrusting me would make perfect sense if they've ever paid attention to the urban In any case, I probably can't take over their minds directly. We're in the dark as of now. Since we still don't know anything about their goals, any rash move... After all, every person in Sumeru City is one of their... No way, that's too risky.
You mean it'd be too easy to get caught?
No, it's not that. We shouldn't involve innocent students in this. A single mistake could completely ruin their lives. Doing that would be ignoring the safety of my people for my own selfish goals. How is that any different from what the sages are doing?
That's a good point. Spoken like the god of Sumeru. Are we really out of ideas? Nahida, you're super smart, so you already have something in mind, right? Don't keep us in suspense. Spill the beans already.
According to a popular theory from the Vahumana Darshan of the Academia, rejecting impractical motions at the beginning of a planning session will give more weight to the actual proposal.
Okay, but aren't you the god of wisdom? You don't have to use that kind of gimmick to make us take your ideas seriously.
Well, I've been thinking that if I can't directly possess the leaders, and if I can't get ordinary people involved, then I should find someone who's already involved, but hasn't decided to side with the sages.
You're saying we should recruit a spy? Oh, before coming back, we met someone named Alhaitham. He seems like he acts alone, and he likes—
Actually, I already have someone in mind.
Setaria. Paimon remembers now. Isn't she? We ran into her basically every time the Sub-Zero's festival repeated itself. You could even say Paimon still remembers the smug and mean way she always spoke to Neil.
I've always liked observing all kinds of people, and Setaria has always stood. She was born in the desert and was hailed as their greatest genius. Her academic gifts allowed her special admission into the academia, and also gave her the opportunity—
Oh, Paimon didn't know she was from the desert. She must be pretty special then. Paimon feels like most of the desert dwellers around the city are working as mercenaries.
The name Setaria means star. When she lived in the desert, she shone like the brightest. Later on, she was chosen by the sun. The star was given a place in the daytime sky to complement the sun's dazzle. Soon after, the star witnessed the sun scorching the earth, which brought forth men. The star began to waver. Instead of staying beside such a sun, wouldn't it be better to return and light up part of the night sky? But in the end, she couldn't give up the radiance of daytime. To cope with her shame, the star buried her guilt and closed her eyes.
From the sound of it, Setaria's just hung up on the research opportunities, but she doesn't really support the academia. She still feels guilty about not doing more for the desert, right?
Indeed. When they are presented with complex moral issues, many people will simply plug their ears and go with the flow until the problem can't be fixed anymore. She's suppressing a lot of guilt, but before she realized it, she had already become the sage's accomplice. She can't deny her part in their schemes anymore. Right. We must somehow make her face her problems again. That way, not only can we get useful intel from her, but she can also use it as an opportunity to redeem herself. From my past observations, Setaria will take a day off from the academia every 10 days to do some shopping in the city. Tomorrow afternoon just happens to be a shopping day for her. That'll be our chance. To prepare, let's go check out some of her favorite spots, and have a quick chat with a few of the vendors there.
Behold!
This should be Setaria's favorite fortune-telling spot.
So should we ask the fortune teller about Setaria?
No, I already have enough information on Setaria. The most important thing now is for you to pick
Talking style and...
My poor lost lambs. Have you become troubled over your fates? The divine voice of wisdom often echoes between mine ears. If thou be blessed today by the gods, I may be able—
Huh? Really? Nahida, you've been whispering things to her?
Shh! My friend here has some doubts regarding her future. Can we get a fortune reading for her?
Of course, of course. In that case... It would seem that Harut and Marut are quite wary of you. Perhaps, at some time in the past, you have somehow offended the gods.
Only mocking the god of Animo, questioning the Lord of Geo's financial savviness, and brawling with the god of Electro. Do those count?
Oh, nothing. Go on, pick an aspect for her to divine.
Health prospects. No problem at all. The gods have spoken. The truth shall be revealed. Your life shall continue on for... many tens of thousands of years? Impossible. Harut, Marut, did you two spoil my divination? I've never read a fortune so absurd.
Actually, Paimon thinks this is probably the most accurate fortune-telling you've ever done.
I admit that the orientation of today's celestial matrix is, suboptimal. As such, there will be no charge.
Is that so? Well, that can't be helped.
If you were to bring some food offerings for Harut and Marut on your next visit, perhaps they could help you reverse the wheels of fate.
Quit following me. Quit following me. Too slow.
Is this another one of Satari?
Yep. It belongs to a king. His father helped Satari a lot when she first moved to Sumeri City, so she still comes by whenever she has time. When I start talking with him, listen carefully to the details of our conversation.
Ah, dear customers. Would you like to look at some pottery?
We caught wind of your great craftsmanship, so we specifically came to take a look.
Oh, I recognize you. aren't you Miss Catherine from the Adventurers Guild? Sounds like I'm in for some big business.
Speaking of, where did you learn this trade?
I suppose you could say it all started with my dad. He's a mason by trade, but I picked up an interest in clay while apprenticing for him. After that, I began making pottery by myself in secret, and I simply changed trades when my works turned out well. Although it's a pity that I'm no longer making much use of the knowledge provided to me by the Akasha.
That's nice. You're making a living doing something you love.
So is your father still working as a mason?
Oh no, not anymore. A few years back, he fell from a roof and broke his leg. Since he had already saved enough Mora over all these years, he's just enjoying the retired life in Port Ormos nowadays.
I see. We wish him peace and happiness in his retirement. I'll have someone in charge of logistics at the guild come by another day for some goods. We'll leave you to it. Take care now.
No problem. Rest easy, all our goods are sure to meet your every need.
There's no such thing as pure freedom in this world. Even the wind cannot blow on forever. Relax. Relax. There's no need to exchange pleasantries. It's rather pathetic to force a conversation just to occupy silence. Relax. You think I've got a sharp tongue? I just tell it like it is. If someone can't handle it, maybe that's their problem. Relax. There's no need to exchange pleasantries. It's rather pathetic to force a conversation just to occupy silence. Relax. There's no such thing as pure freedom in this world. Even the wind cannot blow on forever. Relax. You think I've got a sharp tongue? I just tell it like it is. If someone can't handle it, maybe that's their problem. Quit following me.
This should be our final stop. Setaria's always thinking of the...
Nahida, you've...
It's my duty to protect Sumeru's citizens.
Hi there. I feel like I've seen you down by the docks before.
Huh? Sorry, I don't quite remember.
If I recall, you were having a discussion with someone about shipbuilding at the time.
Ah, that's right! I've always been really interested in feats of marine engineering. After all, I grew up in Liyue Harbor and spent my entire childhood staring at the ships going in and out of the port. I came to Sumeru to study, but failed to make it into... But I'm still discussing all kinds of problems with different scholars. And I'm continuing to study and perform research from the restaurant's basement. I'm sure I'll...
What an admirable spirit for learning. Amazing!
Sure, but you'll find hardworking...
So this restaurant has a basement as well? Huh. First I've heard of it.
That's right. It's not usually open to patrons. Most of the time, employees use it for breaks or to hold private events.
I see. Yes, that makes sense. Well, good luck with your studies, Miss Chishan.
Thank you so much. As long as I can make...
Squall Fury!
So... Three familiar faces should...
What's the point of all the information we've collected?
Setaria's already used to avoiding her problems. So we must find a way to break through her usual sensibilities. I remember you mentioned that the Eremites in Port Ormuz are all making a fuss. Although it's all just a boatload of nonsense, the fate of her homeland may turn out to be Setaria's.
Oh, Paimon gets it now! Although she knows she should return home to help the people of the desert, all she's done is conspire with the sages.
Well, King Deshret is long gone. And Setaria is also too. If we simply engaged her under the guise of King Deshret's believers, she would definitely. But if we were to borrow some of her close acquaintances to talk with her,
So, you mean you're going to.
Yep. Possess them through the Akasha. Imply they've already converted to the faith of King Deshret, and then convey our made-up will of King Deshret. As long as everything goes smoothly, we'll get through to Setaria for sure. She'll never guess that we.
So that's how you're going to use all the info we collected on these people. It's so that you won't slip up and break form. Possessing them will only work if you.
Exactly. So, best.
Huh? Best of luck?
That's no problem at all. I'll just share all their senses with you once I've possessed them. As long as you're also wearing an Akasha terminal.
That is pretty convenient. But what does she have?
Although I've been observing humans for a while, I've never.
You're not wrong. It's always been painfully obvious whenever you try to pass as Catherine.
If it was at all possible, I would have preferred to leave these people alone. But seeing how things are.
Yeah, don't beat yourself up over it. We're only doing this to help
Alright, then let's give it a go.
Here she comes. Setaria's here.
Let's quietly follow her. Once she starts talking to her acquaintances, we'll find a safe spot to begin possessing them. As for how we'll sway her to our side, I'll leave that to you.
Paimon's starting to feel kind of nervous. Okay, let's go. Looks like they've already started talking. Let's find a hiding spot and get started.
That's right. You really can't force anything when it comes to love. And besides, everyone around me has a very different background and outlook. Are you still listening to me, Nabiya?
Oh, of course I'm listening. You were talking about troubles with your love life, right? I heard everything you said.
Okay then. You just seemed a little distracted for a moment there. Strange. Your cats seem pretty worked up. Is something wrong? I always thought they were quiet, happy kitties. Oh, what are their names again? Ah, that's right. They are just little darlings, aren't they? Harut and Marut.
So, which fortune do you want me to read for you today? You must have come for another echo of the divine voice of wisdom.
I'd like to get another reading on my love prospects, but to be perfectly honest with you, I feel like I've been a real mess recently.
A mess?
Well, could you do a reading on how long it'll take me to finish my current project at work? I really just want to get it over with.
I hear you. No problem at all. The gods will reveal the truth.
Sorry, your new laugh is just so hilarious. I couldn't help it.
Oh, please pay no mind to those kinds of details. The gods are asking. Setaria, why haven't you gone home?
Why haven't I gone home? Do the gods really know everything I've been thinking about?
Setaria, why don't you just go home? It's a demand now instead of a question. The gods seem to be truly upset.
I'm sorry. I know I failed the gods. Please pass on my most sincere apologies and ask for their divine forgiveness. And if I may ask, Nabia, is there a specific god who's speaking to you right now?
What an inconsiderate and naive question. The god who is speaking to me is, of course, the wisest and mightiest of all, King Deshret.
King Deshret? No wonder he would make such demand of me. Wait a second. Even though news of King Deshret's resurrection has been spreading like wildfire, it's all just a misinformation campaign from the Academia. How can King Deshret still exist in real life?
What insolence! I am King Deshret's most loyal believer. Do you wish to refute his voice of wisdom?
Oh, no. As a child of the desert, I am only reveling in his power upon learning that his divine glory has touched even this city. I will think very carefully about his demand of me. I'm sorry. I must go now.
Wait!
Whoa! She just ran off in a hurry. She looked pretty upset, too.
Well done. Setaria didn't seem to suspect anything amiss. To have something she's been trying desperately to avoid show up out of nowhere and berate her, that must have shaken her to the core.
Aw, Nahida, it seems like you understand human emotions really well after all.
All I know are some abstract Harava-taught theories. In any case, my time with you has shown a lot of them to be utterly useless. I'm still trying to make sense of everything. Anyway, enough of that. Let's hurry and catch up to Setaria.
He's out of Keem's now, right on cue. Let's get ready to possess him right away!
There's no need to exchange pleasantries. It's rather pathetic to force a conversation just to occupy silence. Relax.
It's okay. I just got caught up in something. Oh, actually, didn't you ask me to help you look for work? What kind of work were you looking for again? Gardening? But don't you hate everything to do with plants? I still remember getting mad at you for secretly throwing away the bonsai that I gave you as a present.
You see, a friend told me that the secret to self-improvement is to work on things you're not so good at.
Fair enough. I didn't think that was something you would consider. Speaking of, how's he doing? Is he feeling any better? Oh, that's good to hear. I have been thinking a lot about him. If I could get some more time off, I'd love to pay him a visit. Actually, while we're talking about him, is he still living in Port Ormos?
Yeah, he's been retired there for a while.
If you could find the time, please write him a letter. Let him know that recently, faith in King Deshret has taken root in Port Ormos and has begun to spread across Sumeru. He has a quick temper and has always been a devout follower of the Dendro Archon. I don't want him to get into a fight with those King Deshret believers because of a difference in beliefs.
Oh? So, who are you siding with in all of this? The Academia or King Deshret? I'm so jealous of you. You were born a child of the desert, yet you chose to betray King Deshret, and now you spend all your time with those crooks from the Academia.
Akeem, you don't mean... You've also become a believer of King Deshret?
What's so strange about becoming a believer of the wise King Deshret? In fact, aren't you the strange one? The one who still can't pick a side?
Can't pick a side? Me?
Whoa! Paimon had no idea you'd be so good at this!
You really zeroed in on the issue and put it right in front of her. It might feel a bit overwhelming for Setaria, but once everything is over, I'll be sure to pay her a visit to remind and explain...
Come on, Setaria!
So, Shishan, have you noticed anything weird in the city lately? Like, as if someone was trying to preach to you about something?
Oh, right. Speaking of strange things, I celebrated the Sabzeruz festival so many times that I lost count. That was really weird.
Wait, how could you be aware of that? That should be impossible. Nothing in the report indicated anything like that.
Are you still failing to realize that the Academia's lowly tricks could never deceive all of Sumeru's citizens?
Shishan, don't tell me that you've converted to King Deshret as well!
What an absurd question. You make it sound like I should be ashamed for becoming a believer of King Deshret. In reality, shouldn't you be the one who is ashamed? You, who worked side by side with the Academia and treated people as nothing more than experimental subjects.
Please, please stop!
Even now, Satari is still trying to run from her problem.
She can no longer justify everything to her.
Hey, she's trying to talk to the guards. What should we do?
This is the most important part of all. Quick, get ready.
Mercenary, you're a member of the Corps of 30, correct? Please help me pass a message to the Matcha right away. The situation in the city is getting out of control.
Please, try to remain calm, miss. Tell me what's happening in the city.
Heretics are infiltrating the city, and they've already converted many residents to their side.
Heretics? What kind of heresy are you talking about?
King Deshret! Many people I know have suddenly started believing in him, but he's long dead. It's impossible.
Miss Sataria, nothing is impossible.
You know my name?
King Deshret is immortal, and all who defy him will one day pay the price.
You must face the truth, Sataria. You tread a treacherous path, and the longer you ignore it, the tighter the Academia's grasp on you will become, and the deeper you will be ensnared.
Child of King Deshret,
never forget that the desert that belongs to you lies elsewhere.
What's so strange about becoming a believer of the wise King Deshret? In fact, aren't you the strange one? The one who still can't pick a side?
What an absurd question. You make it sound like I should be ashamed for becoming a believer of King Deshret.
Sataria, why haven't you gone home?
It seems that no matter where I run, I only keep finding more believers of King Deshret. I have to say, this is a familiar feeling. I've also been running from my guilt this whole time. Guilt over my part in the Sage's plans, and from ignoring the letters from the children of my homeland. But no matter how much I may try to ignore or get rid of it, my guilt always comes back.
You won't necessarily lose your research opportunities by facing the truth. Besides, did you really want to conduct your research while carrying such heavy feelings of guilt?
How do you know me so well? Are you truly just a believer of King Deshret? Or are you the god himself?
That's not important. The important thing is to pass judgment on the Academia and its sages, and to correct their mistakes. If you could provide some assistance in this matter, perhaps it could serve as a form of atonement.
I've actually never believed in the gods, but I've always believed in serendipity. Your appearance must be a fated opportunity for me to get out of this. Please tell me, what can I do for you?
How much do you know about the Sage's current activity?
I was just one of the designers for the massed dream harvest scheme, which is what happened around the subs. But I know very little about the full scope of the overall project. I'd assume that only staff with... I've just been working to meet the Grand Sage's specified requirements. However, there's something that's been really bothering me. I heard that a scholar who was previously expelled has returned to the city, and even the sages are still quite wary of him.
To fight against the Academia, we will need to figure out the nature and the purpose of their work. Is there a way for us to get access to the confidential documents you mentioned?
It should be possible if we're willing to take some risks. After all, I'm an assistant to the Grand Sage, and I've been working on many tasks outside of the project. One thing, though, I won't be able to transfer the documents to you through the Akasha once I get my hands on them. The sages have... let me see... let's use the most primitive method. Send someone to pick up
the Academia entrance. Wouldn't that be too...
Don't worry about that. I assure you, this won't be a trap. I'm only suggesting this location because it'll draw more scrutiny for me to leave the Academia again. It'll be safest for me to distract the guards long enough to hand you the...
All right, I trust you.
So, if I were to...
that'll depend on the judgment of the Dendro Archon.
The Dendro Archon. That's right. Her people are the ones we have endangered. As the God of Wisdom, she's also the one responsible for judging and guiding the scholar. Maybe it's time for me to find a god to believe in.
Just as Nahida predicted, we've managed to bring Sataria to our side!
The Traveler's execution was ingenious. She's the one who deserves all the praise. Well, now that we've made plans to meet again tomorrow evening, all we can do is pray.
Pray? But if we're going to pray to the gods, aren't we just praying to you? God?
No. The truth is the true guardian of scholars. I've always believed that. Anyway.
Catherine, right?
That's right. I suppose I'm the other Catherine in your mind.
Shh! We're on a secret mission tonight, so we need to protect Catherine's identity.
Yep, Paimon's right. We cannot fully rule out the chance that the meetup tonight is just a trap. If something were to happen, my existence may be the only trump card we'll be able to play. After all, the Academia should still be unable to confirm the existence of my consciousness in the outside world.
Yep, exactly, just what Paimon was thinking. Anyway, enough about that. Let's just make sure to be on our guard. Off? What do you feel? It's the middle of the night. Of course it...
No, I think she's right. It really is a lot quieter than usual. If you look around, there seems to be fewer people on the streets. I'm not sure if this is the case for the entire city, though.
Huh. Maybe it's just a coincidence. Maybe Satari...
I also can't quite figure out why things feel a little off. But now that we're...
Well, regardless, as long as you're here with us, Paimon feels a little safer.